Inside a luxury shoe store in the heart of downtown, a middle-aged man in worn clothing walked through the glass doors, hoping to buy a decent pair of shoes. Instead of a greeting, he received indifference, then mockery, then a female manager who declared to his face that people like him had no business shopping there. When he calmly insisted on trying on a pair, she raised her hand to slap him. No one in the store moved to stop her. But 2 minutes later, every career in that room collapsed. Because who was this man, really? The store smelled like leather and expensive cologne. Nathan Cole pushed through the heavy glass door and stepped onto polished marble floors that reflected the chandeliers overhead. Everything gleamed. The shoes sat on pedestals, like sculptures in a museum. Price tags were discreet, tucked beneath the displays, because people who shopped here were not supposed to worry about cost. Nathan was not one of those people. At least, he did not look like one. His jacket was faded at the elbows. His jeans had a small tear near the knee. His sneakers, the ones he had worn for 3 years, were scuffed beyond repair. He was in his early 40s, clean-shaven, hair graying at the temples. His hands were rough, his posture steady. He did not walk like someone trying to impress anyone. He had come here for one reason. His daughter's birthday was in 2 days, and he had promised her they would go somewhere nice. Somewhere she could feel proud to be seen with him. He figured new shoes were a start. Nothing flashy, just something clean. Something that did not embarrass her when he picked her up from school. The store was half empty. A few customers browsed near the back, speaking in low voices. Sales associates stood by the counter in crisp uniforms, their expressions neutral and watchful. Nathan walked toward the men's section, his gaze scanning the rows of Oxfords and loafers displayed on glass shelves. One pair caught his eye. Black leather, simple stitching, no unnecessary detail. He reached out to touch the sole. A young woman in a tailored blazer appeared beside him. Her name tag read, Ashley. She glanced at Nathan, then at his shoes, then back at his face. Her smile was thin and did not reach her eyes. "Can I help you find something?" Ashley asked. Her tone was polite, but just barely. Nathan nodded toward the black loafers. "I'd like to try these. Size 10. Ashley hesitated. Her eyes flicked toward the counter where 2 other employees stood watching. One of them, a man with slicked back hair, raised an eyebrow. Ashley shifted her weight. "We're actually pretty busy right now," she said. "Maybe you could come back later?" Nathan looked around the store. There were 4 customers total, none of them near the register. The employees were not doing anything except standing around. He kept his voice even. "I don't mind waiting," he said. Ashley's smile tightened. "Right. Well, I'll see if we have your size in stock." She walked away without another word. Nathan stood there, hands in his pockets, watching her disappear into the back room. Minutes passed. She did not return. Another employee walked past him twice, pretending not to notice. Nathan did not move. He had dealt with this kind of treatment before. He knew how it worked. Finally, a woman in her mid-30s emerged from an office near the back of the store. She wore a charcoal suit and heels that clicked sharply against the floor. Her hair was pulled into a tight bun. Her expression was sharp, controlled, the kind of face that had spent years perfecting the art of judgment. Her name tag identified her as Melissa Grant, store manager. She did not walk toward Nathan. She stopped a few feet away, arms crossed, and studied him the way someone might study a stain on expensive fabric. "Is there a problem?" Melissa asked. Nathan met her gaze. "No problem. I'm just waiting to try on a pair of shoes." Melissa's lips curved into something that was not quite a smile. "I see. And which pair were you interested in?" Nathan pointed to the black loafers. Melissa glanced at them, then back at him. Her eyes swept over his clothes. His worn sneakers, the frayed cuffs of his jacket. She did not bother hiding her assessment. "Those are $450, Melissa said. Nathan did not react. "I understand." Melissa tilted her head slightly. "Do you?" The question hung in the air. Nathan felt the shift in the room. The other employees had stopped pretending to work. They were watching now, waiting to see how this played out. One of the customers near the back glanced over, then quickly looked away. "I'd like to try them on," Nathan said again. His voice was calm but firm. Melissa uncrossed her arms and took a step closer. She was shorter than Nathan, but she carried herself like someone used to being obeyed. Her smile vanished. "Look," she said, lowering her voice just enough to sound condescending. "I don't think you understand how this works. This is a high-end store. We cater to a specific clientele, people who can afford to shop here without wasting our time." Nathan's jaw tightened, but he kept his composure. "I'm a paying customer. I have the right to try on a pair of shoes." Melissa let out a short laugh. It was cold, dismissive. "A paying customer? Really? Because from where I'm standing, you look like someone who wandered in off the street, hoping to get a free look at something you can't afford." The words landed like a slap. Nathan felt the eyes of everyone in the store on him. The employees were silent. The customers pretended not to listen. No one said a word. No one moved to intervene. Nathan took a slow breath. He had been in situations like this before. He knew what it felt like to be judged, dismissed, erased. But he also knew something Melissa did not. He knew that dignity was not something you wore. It was something you carried, no matter how people treated you. "I'm not leaving," Nathan said quietly. "I came here to buy shoes. I'm asking you as a manager to do your job and let me try on a pair." Melissa's expression hardened. She stepped even closer, her voice dropping to a hiss. "You don't get to tell me how to do my job, and you don't get to walk into my store looking like that and demand to be treated like you belong here. People like you don't shop here. You make the other customers uncomfortable. You make my staff uncomfortable. So I'm going to say this one more time. Leave, or I'll have security escort you out." Nathan did not move. He looked at her, then at the employees standing nearby, then at the customers who were pretending not to hear. No one was going to help him. No one was going to speak up. They had all made their choice. "I'm not doing anything wrong," Nathan said. His voice was steady, but there was an edge to it now. "I'm standing here, asking to try on a pair of shoes. That's it. If you're refusing to serve me because of how I look, that's discrimination. And I think you know that." Melissa's face flushed. For a moment, she looked like she might explode. Then she composed herself, straightened her posture, and smiled again. But this time, the smile was cruel. "Discrimination?" she repeated, her voice dripping with mockery. "You think this is discrimination? No, sweetheart. This is business. And in business, we get to choose who we serve. So unless you want to make this a bigger scene than it already is, I suggest you walk out that door and find somewhere more suited to your budget. Maybe a thrift store or a donation bin." The insult was deliberate, calculated, designed to humiliate. Nathan felt the sting of it, but he did not let it show. He had learned a long time ago that the worst thing you could do in a moment like this was give people the reaction they wanted. "I'm not leaving," he said again. Melissa's smile disappeared. Her eyes went cold. She took one more step forward, close enough that Nathan could see the anger burning behind her polished exterior. "Then you're going to regret it," she said. And that was when everything changed. Nathan stood his ground. He did not raise his voice. He did not take a step back. He simply looked at Melissa Grant and repeated himself one more time. "I'm asking you to let me try on a pair of shoes. That's all I'm asking." Melissa's face twisted. The polished veneer she had maintained cracked. and what surfaced beneath was something raw and ugly. She turned her head slightly, addressing the employees standing nearby without taking her eyes off Nathan. "Ashley, call security," Melissa said. Her voice was sharp, commanding. "Tell them we have someone refusing to leave the premises." Ashley shifted uncomfortably. She glanced at Nathan, then back at Melissa. For a brief moment, it looked like she might say something, but then she nodded and reached for the phone at the counter. Nathan watched her dial. He did not move. He knew what this was. He had seen it before, in different forms, in different places. The system protecting itself. The people in power closing ranks. The silent complicity of those who knew better, but chose comfort over courage. "You're making a mistake," Nathan said quietly. Melissa let out a short, bitter laugh. "The only mistake here is you thinking you have any right to be in this store. You walked in here looking like a charity case and expected to be treated like a valued customer. That's not how the world works." One of the other employees, a tall man in his 20s with neatly combed hair, stepped forward. His name tag read, Derek. He looked at Nathan with something close to pity, but he did not speak up. He just stood there, hands clasped in front of him, eyes downcast. Nathan turned his attention back to Melissa. "I'm not asking for special treatment. I'm asking for basic respect, the same respect you'd give anyone else who walked through that door." Melissa's lips curled into a sneer. "Respect is earned, and right now, all you've earned is an escort out of here." Nathan felt the weight of the moment settle over him. This was the line. The point where most people would give up, walk away, decide it was not worth the fight. He had been there before. He had walked away before. But not today. Not this time. "I'm not leaving until I try on those shoes," Nathan said. His voice was calm, but there was steel beneath it now. Melissa's eyes flashed. She took another step closer, close enough that Nathan could see the tension in her jaw, the tightness around her eyes. She was losing control, and she knew it. That made her dangerous. "You want to try on the shoes?" Melissa said, her voice rising. "Fine, let's see if they fit." She turned sharply and walked toward the display. Nathan watched her, confused. Melissa reached for the black loafers he had pointed to earlier, but instead of taking them down carefully, she grabbed them roughly and turned back toward him. She held them up, dangling them in front of his face like a taunt. "Here," Melissa said. "Take a good look, because this is as close as you're ever going to get to owning a pair." She dropped the shoes on the floor in front of him. They landed with a dull thud. The sound echoed through the silent store. Nathan looked down at the shoes, then back up at Melissa. The humiliation was deliberate. She wanted him to bend down, to pick them up, to prove that he was exactly what she thought he was. Nathan did not move. He kept his eyes on hers. "Pick them up," Melissa said. Her voice was loud now, cutting through the store like a whip. "Go on, if you want to try them on so badly. Pick them up." Nathan felt the stares of everyone in the room. The employees were frozen. The customers were watching, some with horror, some with fascination. No one intervened. No one spoke. The silence was suffocating. "I'm not going to do that," Nathan said. Melissa's face flushed red. "You're not going to do that? Who the hell do you think you are?" Nathan took a slow breath. "I'm someone who deserves to be treated like a human being, just like everyone else in this store." Melissa's composure shattered. She stepped forward, her hand coming up fast, and for a split second, Nathan saw what was about to happen. She was going to slap him. Right there, in front of everyone, she was going to put her hands on him because he had dared to stand up for himself. Nathan reacted without thinking. His hand shot up and caught her wrist before her palm could connect with his face. He held it there, firm but not violent, just enough to stop her. The store went completely silent. Melissa's eyes widened in shock, then fury. "Let go of me," Melissa hissed. She tried to yank her arm free, but Nathan held steady. "Don't touch me," Nathan said. His voice was low, controlled, but there was an edge to it that made Melissa freeze. "You can insult me. You can kick me out. But you don't get to put your hands on me." He released her wrist. Melissa stumbled back, clutching her arm as if he had burned her. Her face was pale now, her breathing rapid. She looked around the store, at the employees, at the customers, at the cameras mounted in the corners. She was calculating, deciding. Then she made her choice. "He assaulted me," Melissa said loudly, her voice shaking with manufactured outrage. She turned to Ashley, to Derek, to anyone who would listen. "You all saw it. He grabbed me. He threatened me." Nathan shook his head slowly. "That's not what happened." Melissa pointed at him, her hand trembling. "You're done. You're finished. I'm calling the police. You're going to be arrested for assault." Ashley looked terrified. Derek looked uncomfortable, but neither of them said a word. Neither of them corrected her. They just stood there, complicit in the lie. Nathan felt something shift inside him. Not anger, not fear. Something colder, clearer. He had given these people every chance to do the right thing. He had been patient. He had been polite. He had asked for nothing more than basic human decency, and they had chosen cruelty. They had chosen power over principle. They had chosen silence over justice. Nathan reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out his phone. Melissa watched him, her eyes narrowing. "What are you doing?" Melissa demanded. Nathan did not answer. He unlocked his phone, scrolled through his contacts, and selected a number. He pressed the call button and held the phone to his ear. It rang twice before someone picked up. "This is Nathan Cole," he said. His voice was calm, almost casual. "I need you to come down to the Riverside location. Now." There was a brief exchange on the other end, a voice Nathan knew well, asking questions. He answered in short, clipped sentences. Then he ended the call and slipped the phone back into his pocket. Melissa stared at him. "Who did you just call?" Nathan did not respond. He simply stood there, hands at his sides, waiting. The store had gone quiet again, but this time the silence was different. There was tension in it, uncertainty. The employees were exchanging glances. Even Melissa looked unsure. 3 minutes passed. Then the glass door at the front of the store swung open, and a woman in a tailored navy suit walked in. She was in her late 40s, her dark hair streaked with silver, her expression sharp and all business. She carried a leather briefcase in one hand and moved with the kind of authority that made people step aside without being asked. Melissa turned toward the door, her brow furrowing. "Excuse me, we're in the middle of a situation here. If you could please." The woman ignored her. She walked straight toward Nathan, her heels clicking against the marble floor. When she reached him, she stopped and looked him directly in the eye. "Sir," the woman said. Her voice was formal, respectful. "I came as soon as you called. Is everything all right?" Melissa's face went pale. The employees froze. Ashley dropped the phone she had been holding. Derek's mouth opened slightly, but no sound came out. The customers who had been pretending not to watch were staring openly now. Nathan looked at the woman and nodded once. "Everything's fine, Evelyn. I just needed you to see something." Evelyn Brooks, chief executive officer of the entire shoe store chain, turned her gaze toward Melissa. Her expression did not change, but the temperature in the room seemed to drop 10 degrees. "Ms. Grant," Evelyn said. Her tone was ice. "Would you care to explain what's going on here?" Melissa's mouth opened and closed. She looked at Nathan, then at Evelyn, then back at Nathan. The pieces were falling into place, but she could not quite believe it. She took a step back. I didn't know," Melissa stammered. Her voice was barely above a whisper. Evelyn raised one hand, cutting her off. "I didn't ask what you didn't know. I asked what happened. Melissa looked around the store as if searching for someone to save her. But the employees had turned away. The customers were silent. There was no one left to back her up. Nathan finally spoke. His voice was calm, steady, without a trace of anger or satisfaction. Ms. Grant refused to let me try on a pair of shoes because she decided I didn't look like I could afford them. She insulted me. She threw shoes at my feet. And when I didn't react the way she wanted, she tried to slap me. Evelyn's eyes flicked to Melissa. Is this true? Melissa's face crumbled. I thought he was... I didn't realize. That's not what I asked, Evelyn said. Did you refuse to serve him? Did you insult him? Did you attempt to strike him? Melissa's shoulders sagged. She nodded, barely perceptible. Evelyn turned to the employees standing nearby. And the rest of you? You witnessed this. Ashley looked like she wanted to disappear. Derek stared at the floor. Neither of them answered. Evelyn turned back to Nathan. I'm sorry, sir. This is unacceptable. I'll handle this personally. Nathan nodded. He did not smile. He did not gloat. He just looked at Melissa one last time, then turned toward the door. Wait, Melissa called out, her voice cracking. Please, I didn't know who you were. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Nathan stopped. He turned back, and for the first time since this whole encounter began, he let a flicker of emotion show on his face. Not anger, not pity, just sadness. You're not sorry you did it, Nathan said quietly. You're sorry you got caught. Then he walked out of the store, leaving Melissa Grant and everyone else behind. The door closed behind Nathan with a soft click, sealing him off from the chaos he had left inside. He stood on the sidewalk for a moment, breathing in the cool air, letting the tension drain from his shoulders. The street was busy. People walked past him without a second glance. Taxicabs honked. A street vendor called out prices. Life continued, indifferent to what had just happened. Nathan leaned against the brick wall beside the store entrance, his hands in his pockets. He was not angry. He was not vindictive. He was tired. Tired of seeing people treat each other like objects to be categorized and dismissed. Tired of watching power crush dignity. He had built this company on a simple idea. Everyone deserved respect. But somewhere along the way, people like Melissa Grant had forgotten that. Or maybe they had never believed it at all. Inside the store, the silence was suffocating. Evelyn Brooke stood in the center of the floor, her briefcase still in hand, her expression unreadable. Melissa Grant had not moved. She stood frozen, her face drained of color, her hands trembling at her sides. The employees were scattered around the room, each of them staring at the floor or the walls or anywhere that was not Evelyn's face. The few customers who remained had stopped pretending to browse. They stood near the back, watching the scene unfold with wide eyes. One woman clutched her shopping bag to her chest. A man in an expensive suit shifted his weight from foot to foot, clearly uncomfortable. They had all witnessed what happened. They had all chosen to stay silent. Evelyn set her briefcase down on the counter with a deliberate thud. The sound made everyone flinch. She turned to face Melissa directly, and when she spoke, her voice was calm, but laced with something cold and final. Ms. Grant, Evelyn said, do you know who that man was? Melissa opened her mouth, but no words came out. She shook her head weakly. Evelyn's gaze did not waver. That was Nathan Cole, the founder of this company, the man who built this entire chain from the ground up, the man who signs my paychecks, and yours. Melissa's knees buckled slightly. She grabbed the edge of a display table to steady herself. Her breathing was shallow, rapid. The world was collapsing around her, and there was nothing she could do to stop it. I didn't know, Melissa whispered. I swear, I didn't know. Evelyn's expression did not soften. That's the problem, Ms. Grant. You didn't know. because you didn't care. You looked at him and decided he wasn't worth your time. You judged him based on his clothes, his appearance, and you treated him like garbage. And when he stood up for himself, you tried to assault him. Melissa shook her head frantically. It wasn't like that. I was trying to protect the store. I thought he was... You thought he was what? Evelyn interrupted. Her voice was sharp now, cutting. Poor? Unworthy? Beneath you? Melissa did not answer. She could not. The truth was written all over her face. Evelyn turned to the other employees. Ashley was gripping the edge of the counter, her face pale. Derek was staring at the ground, his jaw clenched. A third employee, a woman in her 50s named Janet, who had been restocking shelves in the corner, had gone completely still. Her hands were frozen mid-motion, a shoebox clutched to her chest. She had seen everything. She had heard everything. And like the others, she had done nothing. And the rest of you, Evelyn said. Her voice echoed through the store. You stood there and watched. You saw what was happening and you did nothing. You let her humiliate him. You let her throw shoes at his feet. You let her raise her hand to strike him. And not one of you said a word. Ashley's voice cracked as she tried to speak. I didn't know what to do. I thought she was right. Evelyn's eyes narrowed. You thought she was right? You thought it was acceptable to treat a customer that way? Ashley's face crumpled. Tears welled up in her eyes, but Evelyn did not soften. She turned her attention back to Melissa. This company was built on a simple principle, Evelyn said. Everyone who walks through that door deserves respect. It doesn't matter what they're wearing. It doesn't matter how much money they have. They are people, and they deserve to be treated with dignity. You violated that principle. You violated everything this company stands for. Melissa's voice was barely audible. Please, I made a mistake. I'll do better. I'll apologize. Evelyn raised a hand, cutting her off. You'll do nothing, because you're done here. The words landed like a hammer. Melissa staggered back, her eyes wide with disbelief. You can't fire me. I've been with this company for 6 years. I've worked my way up. I've hit every sales target. You've abused your position, Evelyn said. You've used your authority to humiliate and demean people you deemed unworthy. And when given the chance to do the right thing, you chose cruelty. That's not the kind of person we want representing this company. Melissa's face twisted with desperation. Please, I have bills. I have rent. I need this job. Evelyn's expression did not change. You should have thought about that before you raised your hand to strike a customer. Pack your things. Security will escort you out. Melissa looked around the store, searching for someone, anyone, who might speak up for her. But the employees had turned away. The customers avoided her gaze. There was no one left to save her. She stood there for a moment, her shoulders shaking, and then she broke. Tears streamed down her face as she stumbled toward the back office, her career and her reputation crumbling behind her. Evelyn turned to Ashley and Derek. Her voice remained steady, controlled. And as for the two of you, you're also terminated, effective immediately. Ashley's face went white. What? No, please. I didn't do anything. You did nothing, Evelyn said. And that's the problem. You witnessed discrimination and abuse, and you chose to stay silent. That makes you complicit. Derek finally looked up, his voice shaking. I was just following orders. She's my manager. I didn't think I had a choice. Evelyn's gaze was steady, unflinching. You always have a choice. You could have spoken up. You could have called me. You could have done something. But you didn't, and that's why you're done here. Ashley collapsed into a chair, sobbing. Derek stood frozen, his face ashen. Neither of them moved. Neither of them protested anymore. They knew it was over. Evelyn walked toward Janet, who was still standing near the shelves, clutching the shoebox. The older woman's eyes were red-rimmed. Her hands were shaking. "Miss Patterson," Evelyn said quietly. "You've been with this company for how long?" Janet's voice was hoarse. 12 years. 12 years, Evelyn repeated. "And in that time, you've seen situations like this before, haven't you?" Janet nodded slowly. She did not try to deny it. "Why didn't you say anything today?" Evelyn asked. Janet's lips trembled. "Because I was afraid. I've spoken up before, and it cost me. I was passed over for promotions. I was given the worst shifts. I learned to keep my head down and do my job." Evelyn studied her for a long moment. "That's honest. But honesty doesn't fix what happened here today." Janet set the shoebox down on the shelf. Her shoulders sagged. "I know." "You're not fired," Evelyn said. Janet's head snapped up, her eyes wide with surprise. Evelyn continued, "But you're on probation. You have 1 month to prove to me that you can do better, that you can be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. If I hear about you standing by while something like this happens again, you're done. Understood?" Janet nodded, tears spilling down her cheeks. "Yes, thank you. I won't let you down." Evelyn picked up her briefcase and walked toward the door, her heels clicking against the marble floor. Before she left, she turned back one last time. The remaining employees, the security guard who had just arrived, and the few customers still in the store all looked at her. "Let this be a lesson," Evelyn said. Her voice carried through the store, clear and final. "Power is not a shield, it's a responsibility. And when you abuse it, there are consequences. This company will not tolerate discrimination, will not tolerate cruelty, and it will not tolerate silence in the face of injustice. If you see something wrong, you speak up. That's the standard from this moment forward." Then she walked out, leaving the wreckage behind. Outside, Nathan was still leaning against the wall. Evelyn found him there, his face tilted toward the sky, watching clouds drift past. She approached him slowly, her expression softer now, more human. "I'm sorry you had to go through that," Evelyn said. Nathan shook his head. "You don't have to apologize. It's not your fault." "It is, in a way," Evelyn said. "This company carries your name, your values. When people like Melissa Grant are allowed to operate unchecked, it reflects on all of us." Nathan looked at her, his expression tired but resolute. "I didn't come here to test anyone. I just wanted to buy a pair of shoes for my daughter's birthday. But when I walked in and saw how they treated me, I realized something. If they're willing to do that to me, they're doing it to other people too. People who don't have the power to fight back." Evelyn nodded. "You're right. And that stops now. I'm going to audit every location, retrain every manager, implement a new reporting system so employees can flag discrimination without fear of retaliation. This will never happen again." Nathan smiled faintly. "Good. Because this company was built on the idea that everyone matters, not just the people who look like they can afford our products. Everyone." Evelyn extended her hand. "Thank you for not letting this slide. A lot of people would have walked away." Nathan shook her hand. "I've walked away before. I've stayed silent before. But not anymore. Because silence doesn't protect anyone. It just lets the wrong people keep doing the wrong things." Evelyn held his gaze for a moment, then nodded. "I'll make sure they understand that." Nathan turned and started walking down the street. Evelyn watched him go, then pulled out her phone and began making calls. There was work to be done, changes to be made, a culture to rebuild. Inside the store, Melissa Grant sat in the back office, her belongings packed into a cardboard box. Her hands were still shaking. Her career was over. Her reputation was destroyed. And the worst part was, she knew it was her own fault. She had judged a man by his appearance and paid the price. She thought about all the times she had done this before, the customers she had dismissed, the people she had made feel small. She had told herself it was just good business, that she was protecting the brand, but the truth was simpler and uglier. She had enjoyed the power. She had enjoyed making people feel beneath her. Now that power was gone, and she had nothing left. Ashley and Derek were already gone, escorted out by security. The store was quieter now, but not empty. Janet was still there, slowly resuming her work. The shoes Nathan had wanted to try on were still sitting on the floor where Melissa had dropped them. A young man who had been stocking inventory in the back room during the confrontation emerged cautiously. His name tag read, Marcus. He looked around, saw the shoes on the floor, and walked over. He picked them up carefully, examining them for damage. Finding none, he set them back on the display with the same care someone might use handling something precious. Marcus had heard everything. He had been standing in the stockroom doorway, watching through the gap, too afraid to step forward. He hated himself for it now. He thought about his younger brother, who had been followed in stores, questioned, treated like a criminal just for existing. He thought about how many times he had told himself it was not his problem, not his fight. He would not make that mistake again. Janet approached him quietly. You saw it too, didn't you? Marcus nodded. Yeah. We should have done something, Janet said. Her voice was thick with regret. I know, Marcus said, but we can do something now. We can make sure it doesn't happen again. Janet looked at him, then at the shoes on the display, then at the door where Nathan had walked out. She nodded slowly. You're right. Nathan Cole never did get his shoes that day, but he got something more valuable. He got a reminder that dignity is not something you ask permission for. It's something you claim. And he got the satisfaction of knowing that the people who had humiliated him would never do it to anyone else again. 2 days later, on his daughter's birthday, Nathan took her to a different store, a smaller place, less fancy, where the employees greeted them with genuine smiles and treated them like people, not ATMs. He bought a new pair of shoes there, nothing expensive, just something clean and decent. His daughter, Emma, looked up at him as they left the store, her hand in his. She was 11, bright-eyed, with her mother's smile and her father's quiet strength. Dad, why didn't we go to your store? Nathan smiled. Because sometimes, the best way to build something better is to support the people who are already doing it right. Emma nodded, not fully understanding, but trusting him anyway. They walked home together, father and daughter, through streets where people passed them without a second glance. And Nathan was fine with that, because he had never wanted to be noticed. He had only ever wanted to be respected. And in the end, he was.